there's discussion about the Common Core curriculum. What is your philosophy on the topic? And what would you do to see that philosophy implemented?
Thank you, Tom. Thank you to everyone for inviting us here tonight and for attending tonight. Appreciate it. First of all, Common Core is going to be decided on by the governor and Bessie. And the school board is going to have to implement whatever they decide. So it's not in our realm to make any decision. But I will say that the one part of Common Core that I do agree with are standards. I think standards are really helpful. They're aligned from year to year, and this allows the teachers to see the progression and patterns of the students, and if there's a problem, they can deal with it early on instead of waiting until the end of the year and someone has to fail. We need to work harder to keep our kids in school, to keep them enjoying school and doing well, and I think standards do that. Standards are also teaching skills. We need to teach skills, and I think that's important. That's a good part of Common Core. I think what we need to remember is that the role of the school board is not to run the school, but to make sure that the schools are run well. And I want to be there as an advocate. I want to, I have my husband and friends walking all the neighborhoods in the district, and I kind of drive by if anyone needs to talk to me, because obviously I can't do a lot of walking. But I'm listening to people, and I'm visiting all the schools and the principals, teachers, bus drivers, custodians, cafeteria workers, and I understand what their needs are. They want support. We have buildings that need to be renovated. Just imagine going to work every day in a building that the roof is leaking, that it needs to be painted, everything's old, not enough books. We need to help these kids feel pride. Someone said earlier about taking pride. Well, we need to take pride in our schools. As director of Keep Eunice Beautiful, our logo is Take Pride. So we need to help these kids feel good about going to school every day. We have the teachers too. You don't want to be working in a bad environment. I think it's important that we all understand that what goes on in the schools affects everyone in the whole city. The better education, the better schools that we have, it helps economic development. We can get better paying jobs here, we can get more businesses to come here, more people to want to move in, more people to want to stay who are already here. If our schools are run well, if our students are being taught well, we're going to help these kids for the future. They are our future. We need to help prepare them for whatever life is going to, they're going to have to deal with. My logo has been one goal, one focus, student success. And I really believe that. I can promise you one thing. Growing up, my mom, who's 86 years old last month, and she's in the audience, has always told me, never say you can't, always say you'll try. Why never say you can't? I always work hard, and I promise you to work hard. I can get along with anyone. The partisanship that's going on now in the school board, I won't be part of it. I'll work with people, I'll work hard for Eunice schools, and make sure that our kids get a bright future. Thank you very much.
How would you describe the ideal relationship between the school board and the superintendent?
Master and servant. No, it's a joke. First of all, thank you for inviting me here to LSUE, and it's a pleasure to be back in this school setting. I was in the first graduated class for LSUE back in 1974, and in 1975 I graduated from LSU in Baton Rouge. I also got my master's in education from LSU in Baton Rouge. I'm a product of Eunice schools, graduate of Charles Drew High School. I'm a product of St. Landry Parish and the state of Louisiana. I realize that quality education can be had for all. I realize that giving students learning opportunities will encourage them and set them up for success in life. Success in life is not always a college degree such as I have. My parents worked hard for that opportunity. I followed through, my brothers and sisters. But now I also realize that a lot of other little things came into play to make that possible. I was a member of Upward Bound, one of the first federal programs to come into rural areas, get students, give them an opportunity to go to New Orleans and other places all over the United States. Many of our Charles Drew High School students went to colleges like Yale and Harvard. I didn't go there, but I was given opportunity. And these opportunities should still exist for our children today. Given opportunity, they will all have, well, the stepping stones to go across that treacherous little stream. Now, as far as the relationship between the school board members and the superintendent, well, as I had quipped earlier, it is the board that hires the superintendent, evaluates him or her, all right, and on the basis of his or her carrying out the policies that we implement. And certainly this is a relationship that I take very seriously, and I certainly will, if elected, ensure that we have a good superintendent. Thank you very much.
If you are approached with a concern at a school in your district, as examples, building property, issues, teacher, school policy, how do you see your role as a school board member in resolving the issue?
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, everyone, for being here. First of all, you probably noticed I don't know the alphabet. One strike against me. My responsibility, Tom, if I'm approached with a problem, would be the same responsibility I've had the last 4 years as a councilman. To take action on it, to bring it up to the proper people at the school board. It doesn't matter who it is. If I have to go to the people that have facilities or whatever it is, the people that in charge of the curriculum. Whatever the problem is, I'll bring it up to the proper people as I've done in the past. Most of you know my experience already, and I hate to mention it, I was 20 years in the military because JoJo might want me to do a check on my mental ability. But I've worked successfully for 20 years in the military. I've been a resident of Eunice all my life. I'm 73 years old. I feel that I've had a master's degree in common sense from the University of Life. I'll probably get a PhD as soon as I get through with this 4 years on the school board. And I feel like I'll be pretty well educated by then. I'll be here to take care of any problems. All of you know that I've worked with the council. You've known me. You've seen me work. You know that if a problem exists, and I'll be there to take care of it. It doesn't matter who I have to confront, who I have to talk to. I'll be there to take care of your problems. The biggest thing I see right now in education, and one of the biggest things, because I have contact every single day of my life with people in education. My wife's in the education system here in St. Landry Parish. So I know some of the problems that exist. The two main things that I see is attendance and retention. We have kids that are not going to school when they should be going to school. We don't have a truancy officer that I know of in the parish. If a kid doesn't go to school but 3 or 4 days a week, he's going to miss a day of education somewhere along the line. When he comes back to school, he's going to be a day behind. That teacher doesn't have time to sit there all day long with that one kid and try to catch him up on what was taught the day before. You have to have kids that attend school every day of the week. If the child isn't there to get educated by the 4th, 5th, 6th grade, that kid's going to lose interest in the school system. By the time he reaches 17, 18 years old, then that's when retention comes in. You're not going to retain him in the school system. He's going to drop out. He's going to be standing on the corner like you see a lot of kids if you go through town like I do every day, standing on the corner, doing absolutely nothing but sitting there having a 16-ounce and maybe blowing a joint or something. This is what's going to happen to them. This is happening every day nowadays throughout the parish, throughout the state, and throughout the United States. You have to keep the kids in school. You have to keep them interested. If you don't make them attend and make them stay up with the curriculum that's being taught, they're going to get behind and they're going to drop out. And that's where you're going to find the kids on the street or on South 2nd Street around the jailhouse. So that's what I'll be working for. Retention, truancy, and retention and attendance. Thank you very much.